Hello, everyone. I'd like to introduce the code security system to you today. This video will introduce these four aspects. CodeArts Repo ensures code security in the following ways. First, network isolation, tenant data isolation, unified authentication and authorization, WAF application protection, infrastructure hardening, traffic attack defense, and intranet security access ensure secure code access. Second, SSH, HTTPS, or GPG signature safeguard secure code file transmission and prevent data theft. Third, role-based repository access permissions enable these privileges for the visible scope of repositories, protected branches and tags, and access whitelists and watermarks. Fourth, file encryption, automatic, remote, and multi-replica backup ensure code repository security. Finally, CodeArts Repo provides log auditing for code tracing. CodeArts Repo ensures secure code development and efficient collaboration through an end-to-end code version management system. Repository administrators can set policies such as code access permissions, branch protection rules, merge request rules, custom permissions, watermark policies, gated code check-in, code review, and log audit to ensure compliant operations. After the administrator configures the repository settings, developers can view, clone, or download repositories to the local host for development. After the development is complete, developers commit code to CodeArts Repo based on the commit rules set by the administrator. Then, code reviewers and approvers check the code files based on specifications. The code can be merged into the main repository only after the developer modifies and completes the code based on the feedback. CodeArts Repo ensures repository security by setting access permissions for repositories. There are four access types of repositories. First, private repository. The protection level is internal. This type of repository is open only to repository members. Members can access and commit code. Second, read-only for project members. The protection level is internal public. This type of repository is open to project members, but only read-only access is allowed. Members can view and search for repositories in the repository list of the project and repository groups. Third, read-only for tenant members. The protection level is confidential. This type of repository is open to tenant members, but only read-only access is allowed. Members can view and search for repositories in the repository list of the project and repository groups. Fourth, read-only for all visitors. The protection level is top secret. This type of repository is open to all visitors, but only read-only access is allowed. Visitors can view and search for repositories in the repository list of the project and repository groups. As you can see, CodeArts Repo protects core code assets through these 8 layers of defense. CodeArts Repo supports security control through role permissions. You can manage repositories by group. A repository group can contain multiple child repository groups or repositories, and a repository can contain multiple branches. CodeArts Repo manages repository permissions by owner, administrator, reviewer, developer, participant, viewer, and custom roles. As you can see from the preceding table, the repository owner has the permissions on code, members, merge requests, branches, tags, and repository as global settings by default. You can refer to the table to learn the permissions of other roles. You can also customize roles and assign permissions to them as you need. CodeArts Repo allows you to manage the operation permissions of different roles on repositories and branches for security and flexibility. First, the permissions of roles are subject to branch-specific permission settings. For example, if the right permission is set for a branch, only users or user groups with the developer roles or higher permissions can write this branch. Second, about the default permission inheritance. If no permission is set for a branch, the branch automatically inherits the default role permissions of the repository to which the branch belongs. This means all branches will use all the permissions of the repository unless otherwise specified. Third, permission inheritance mechanism. Organization-level permissions can be passed down to repositories. This means that the permissions of a user, from the organization level will be accumulated with the permission settings of the repository as they access the repository. Finally, the permissions relationship between organizations and repositories. You can choose whether to inherit permissions from organizations. If yes, you can add members or adjust permissions for the repositories. If not, you need to redefine its permission structure, which will not be affected by organization permissions. You may worry about the security of R&D assets when using CodeArts Repo. Network access is a key part of the process, especially when you have isolated your intranet from the public network and want to access CodeArts Repo through a VPN. CodeArts Repo on the public cloud can shield access from the public network, preventing employees from obtaining R&D assets at home or in other environments after leaving the intranet. The cloud password of CodeArts Repo is an enhanced feature for the preceding scenario. It provides two key capabilities: accessing CodeArts Repo through Huawei Cloud VPC and shielding access from the public network to web pages, desktop clients such as Git, and open APIs, and allowing only access traffic from specific VIP IDs. Alright, we've covered a lot in today's session. For more details, please visit Huawei Cloud Help Center.